And hello everyone, I'm back with virtual reality session number 5. Again, we're gonna animate in Quill, but this time a little bit of a different scene. I got something a little bit more special prepared. It's not gonna be a character animation, it's gonna be a little bit more abstract than that this time. And I'm just gonna see where we're headed and how everything will go in the run. It's gonna be a little bit different than the other streams. Today I'm here on my own, but nevertheless I'm still gonna read the chat. But if I'm gonna be a little bit delayed, that's just because it's a little bit harder to focus on the chat while drawing in VR. But still, ask your questions if you have any. I'm here to talk to you and to explain something or tell you something about our project. So today I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into like a situation where George is thinking about his goal of the short film, about kind of like, oh, let me do an audio check first. Seems like everything is working. If there's something like the music too loud or anything like that, just let me know and I can change that. But however, George's goal is kind of to reach this one plant that he needs to finish his collection. So he has kind of like a plant collection from different islands, and his goal is to have that one he always dreamed about in the middle. And this time we're just gonna try to visualize that. So we'll have it's like it's kind of like they're standing there like statues and maybe trophies he gathered in his garden shed or glass house, and we want to show that he's collecting them, and then that one is missing, and it's the focus and the magic of that plant. It's what we're trying to visualize just a little bit, but I'm gonna show you how I mean that when we jump into Quill. And I think I have nothing to say for the moment, unless I'm just thinking about if I have to say anything before we jump into VR, but I don't think so. Just that I think today will be about an hour-long stream, maybe a little bit longer, but it will depend. I hope I kind of fixed my the audio issue, so there shouldn't be that much clipping with a microphone. I think I fixed that. At least I hope so. And the camera as well is adjusted, so I hope I don't get overheating issues again. But if that's the case and I don't notice it, feel free to just tell me and I can switch camera. But yeah, I think without anything else to say, I'm just gonna jump into Quill and we'll see us in just a second in VR. All right. Now. And I think the audio's back. That would be great. I'm just checking in the stream if I can hear myself. Yeah, that's working. All right. So, I'll just jump into Quill. Get everything running. I think that's working fine now. All right. Then let me jump into my other scene with Quill. And here we go. All right. So now we're fully like 100% ready, I guess. Just gonna put up my stream, my stream chat right next to me, so I can read it if there are any questions. And I'm just gonna open up the scene we're gonna work on today. So, like you can see, I have now imported like the island that Niels made in his or showed in his last live stream as well. But we're not gonna focus on the outside today. We're gonna focus on the inside and what we can show right here. So just to be clear, this what you can see right now is just a rough sketch. At least the plans are rough sketch. Niels isn't totally like done with this glass house. But I asked him to kind of roughly show me his idea on where things are located so that I can plan how I will animate the whole thing. So in this scene, we just want to show that that George is just caring for his plants in this garden shed glass house thing. And I think it would be nice for the viewer to maybe start up here and just look down through these through these supports right here. Just look through them, because then you'll get this nice parallax effect that is just interesting in VR. If I just move down, that the near things are moving closer. I really like that in VR, and I think that's gonna be great. The next thing is that maybe it's gonna be like a close-up, or more closer, not really close-up, but of him standing there and just watering these plants. And just to explain a little bit what they thought about the whole thing, George's journey is about a life's journey. So basically, we wanted to have like a story of his life, just visualized in a totally different way. So we have meaning behind these different plants, for example. So when you think about in life, what are the things that you collect? It's about like connection and goals, what you care about. So we got like this little tree representing family. This, of course, like a little bit more of a rose with hearts at the leaves. Yeah, and of course it represents love and maybe a partner. This one is kind of more like the business one, the cactus, and this is for friends. We dug a little bit into like meaning of plants, so we actually looked up colors and plants that kind of resembles friends, and or could be connected to friendship, and yellow and like I don't know how exactly that's called, but so we kind of dug into that topic and decided that we want to have these four things, and these four different plants resembling or meaning like again family, love, business, and friends. These are like the four main things, but he's looking 4, like you can see, it's kind of like shaped going upwards, and the most important thing for him is missing right here. This is his, what he thinks is passion or main goal in life, maybe is, or maybe the childhood dream he always wanted to accomplish, and that's kind of what he's looking for. And that's what we're gonna try to show now just a little bit, that he's focused on gaining or just collecting this plant. And yeah, so these become less important to him at the moment, because he's just trying so hard to get the one in the middle that is still missing, and forgets about, like, yeah, his other ones he already has. Yeah, that's kind of what we're the story is about, and we want to visualize that just a little bit, how he's dreaming of this one. And just to be clear, this also is not totally finished. The plants are nearly finished, so these ones, but the surrounding is not, and as well as these, I'm just gonna call them stone blocks now, these aren't ready yet, or totally finished, but because I'm gonna animate them in folders, that will be alright. I also have a soundtrack right here. I think it's, so we actually ordered a voiceover for the whole thing in English, and I've got that inside here, but I don't think you are gonna hear it. I don't have it set up like that, but it's just for me at the moment. It's just important to know a little bit more of the timing when I'm doing something like this. And I'm just gonna, so I know that at this point, about 10 seconds right here, I want to start with the plants, or with the focus or the storytelling part on the more visual part that is about the plant that is missing. And that's what I'm gonna focus on today. So maybe I'm gonna do like this animation right here where he's watering the plant, but we have done something like that, I think already, with a lot of brush strokes, but maybe I'm gonna go into that as well. But my main goal for today is to make the animation that is totally focused on these plants. So what I have to do, the first thing that I want to do is, I have like all these stuff right here. It's about 10 seconds long, I already said. And I first of all want to cut them out. So I kind of have like this, these different folders, and I'm just gonna, for example, the whole environment around that, I don't need that at this point. And like the glass house itself, I don't need that as well. And George, I don't need him either. So I'm just gonna focus on these. So these are kind of like floating in the air at this point. And that's gonna stay that way, but I'm just gonna jump in, and I just noticed that maybe it's not the best idea to start the whole thing without having a floor. So I'm just gonna do like a very simple floor this time. So it's just gonna be like totally like a total straight line. So just like this. And because we're this is the thing about VR. It is nice that you can have like a full environment. So like this, you can see right here, you can look around like 360 degree, but you don't always have to do that. Because why? It's kind of like, I think of it like in traditional filmmaking. You're gonna show the whole environment at some point when you're going into a new scene, for example, just to say, okay, this scene is taking place at a dock, for example, and there are ships, and this just tells you like this is the surrounding, and you have to be cautious about the water around you, for example. You can't fall down into it, and this is something you show the viewer beforehand, and then after he saw that, he has that in mind, and you don't have to remind him like again and again. So you can jump into a close-up of a character, but still the viewer already had the information where it is taking place. So you want to focus maybe on the action or the feelings of the characters, and so you pull into, for example, like a close-up shot of the face, and you don't need the environment, and that's kind of what I'm doing right here. So first I want to show, like in the scene, that he's caring about his plans, but then when it is about just simply finishing the collection, why would I need the whole surrounding for that? That is more, I think it's more efficient when you then jump in and isolate everything, so you're just seeing what we're talking about at this point, because it's such an important part of the story. And the thing is, now I don't want everything just to kind of how it is right now. It's just oh wait, I'm just gonna try to, can I mute it somehow? Yeah, I'm just gonna mute the audio track right now for me. And so I don't want it to just cut out, I want it to fade. So I'm going in and I'm just gonna add keyframes right here. So they're gonna be keys. Don't know why, but today my hands are a little bit more shaky and I can feel that. And it's a little bit harder right now for me, but I think that's alright. So I'm just going down, just doing auto keyframe and just fading everything out. So let's see how this looks. Oh, and I forgot, I have to say that there are linear keyframes. If I don't do that, they're just gonna jump from 1 to 0. But this is more of what I was hoping to get right now. Yeah, so it's just fading out slowly. Maybe I'm just gonna do it like that the other stuff that is outside is gonna fade first. George is gonna fade fast as well. And the glass house is a little bit more delayed, so it's a little bit more on the flow maybe. And maybe it has to be a little bit faster there. So in general, I'm letting it fade a little bit faster. Like you can see, like these fades, they are working, but I don't know how good this will translate in the stream. I'm just looking for like a spot where is it very horrible. I think that could work quite well. I have like this noise. I don't know if you can see that, but this is just something that happens in the Quill renderer. That's why you usually wouldn't work with that much transparency. But for scenes like this where it is just necessary, you just don't want it to take like super long to fade out, so you don't notice the thing that much. So we're now here, and I'm just gonna unmute again. Oh, I just reset the whole thing. That's not good. All right, so we're gonna transition, and I just want to focus on the one missing one. So I'm just gonna fade out the other ones as well, but this time not really fading out, but I got it prepared in folders. So I'm just gonna go in, I have these plans, and I'm just going in and adding keyframes for each of them. And I just want them to just to move out of the frame, so just to disappear in the ground. That what I wanted to try. So just like this, so they're kind of disappearing in the ground. I just realized that I didn't have auto keyframe on. All right, so I want them to disappear down there. So that is like the main point. So just like this. So, okay. Maybe I'm just gonna turn ease in on, because then it's gonna start slowly and just disappear. And what I'm gonna do like right away is go in, grab the floor, and just duplicate it again and again. So I can't watch through it. I could just go down there and see it still. But now I maybe can show how it looks like if I change the background color. So we just have a flat black plane right here that is just blocking the view, and because the environment is totally black as well, it kind of feels like a void, so you're kind of like trapped inside there. And I really like that feeling. So these are disappearing, so I'm just gonna go in and let the other ones disappear as well. So just going in and pushing them all down, because like I said, it is about this plant right here. And like always, auto keyframe wasn't turned on. Perfect. All right. Just again, but it's not that much work, so I don't mind. And now that I did this, I just have to go in and set, I think they're all to auto ease. Perfect. So now they're all kind of disappearing one by one. Oh no, it's not easing already. Just gonna ease them all, and now they should kind of go out. At the same time, what I want to do is have them a little bit more in a sequence, so they're not disappearing each at the same time, but like one after another. So just like this. And I like that so far. So it's really focusing on the last one that is missing. And now I'm gonna save. Alright, saved. And now what I want to do is have like maybe a little bit of I'm gonna bring in the plant. I think that would be the best thing to do. So I'm just gonna I just jumped to the start, but I'm just gonna bring in the plant. I just have to see where it is. Like you can see, I now have like very many of these files. Magic plant, that sounds about right. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, maybe it is not. We got another scene right here, but I don't think I hit the right one. Oh, there it is. Yeah, alright. So there is the plant, and you can see actually a totally other scene that I already did. And we're just gonna see, alright, it's in here. We have the plant. And now we can delete the whole thing. No, we cannot, because there are locked children in there. So I'll just have to unlock some of the layers. And here it is, the magic plant we're talking about. And I'm just gonna bring it up here. Parent it to the middle podest. Do you call it? No. Totally don't know how to say that. But yeah, we're just gonna parent it to the middle one. Where is it? Here. There is it. All right. Okay, maybe gonna skip that because it lyrics. Didn't know that. So now we have it right here. We're just gonna have to find where it actually is. Where's the plant? Ah, don't see it. Why don't I see it? Ah, there it is. Oh, no. I accidentally moved the wrong layer. I think I just... There it is. Oh, there's the plant. Now. Back on track. I'm just gonna have to extend the layer because it was cut off in the other scene. And now, there we are. Alright. So, everything where it's supposed to be. And we're just gonna put it right here. That's where it, in the end, George wants this plant to be. Right in the middle, as like the big highlight of his collection. It's a little bit special because it has like these red lines. It's kind of like powerful, and it's gonna be there. And the plant isn't actually that big, like in the end, but it's also like kind of the point, because we're gonna show the thing, the plant like quite big in this scene, but later on when he actually grabs it, it's actually not that big. But I think that's kind of maybe of kind of telling of maybe shows how he thinks about like that certain goal, because in his dreams or when he thinks about it, he sees it as like way more powerful or way bigger than it actually is when he achieves it. So it's kind of like also the contrast between his envision of how it will be if he succeeds and in finishing his collection, and it's gonna be in contrast with that how it would be if he actually does, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're gonna have that plant right here, but that's not gonna be there the whole time. So maybe I think we're gonna do an animation right here and just have it like appear right here. So it's not gonna be there the whole time. So we're just gonna animate maybe some circles around here forming the plant. That would be something I think quite cool. So we're gonna start right here, create a new paint layer. I'm just gonna call it red. And now I'm just gonna go in and get ready for painting these effects. So I'm just gonna go in and start putting together some frames. So I'm just gonna use the anim brush, I guess. And here it should be like finished. And here we want to start, and I'm just gonna do that. So maybe I'm just gonna do it a little bit longer so I have more time to react. So just like this. And now I'm just gonna grab like the main color of the plant. It's just this bold red. And I'm just gonna try it with the animated brush to do some forms. So just put on auto. Just put it here so I see what's happening. Just something like this. So it's coming around in circles like this, maybe a little bit smaller. I like that. So maybe it's coming from up there. I hope you don't hear the sound of the narrator. So I think I'm just gonna mute it so it's all clear. And I'm just gonna have like 2 or 3 more of these lines appear right here. So I just want it to be a little bit more. And I'm gonna have one starting at the bottom, so it's going like this, but they're all coming together at the end and reveal the plant. That's the thing I want to do. So just come in, reveal it. I really like that from the start. But what I'm gonna do right now is start animating the flower actually. So I think we already have like the basic of the animation, and I think right here it should be up there already, and it's going to appear from down there as well, and maybe with a little bit of scale as well. So when it's animating up, we're gonna have something, maybe we're gonna go ease in and out. So it's just growing up from down there. Just like this. I like that. Maybe putting it just a little bit smaller. And now it should start a little bit earlier, just so that it is coming up with the whole strokes. And then we're gonna add in there maybe a few green lines as well, but just right before the thing will go up. So just like this, and then have some green lines as well, just to add a little bit more of a variation, and also because that are the main colors of the plant. So I have them appear right there. Yeah, I like that. So let's just take a look at what we created so far. So we come here from the scene where George is caring for his plants. Then we're gonna fade the whole thing out, have these disappear, and then have a spotlight on this one thing where the final plant is gonna be. Just gonna replay that one more time, but with a little bit more of a little less of time at the beginning. So fading out, making them disappear, going in with the thing and revealing the plant. All right. What I could add right here, what I think I'm gonna do is I have this plant coming up, but I think it should be a little bit yeah, just a little bit more animated. So I'm just gonna duplicate frames right here, and so I'm just gonna do it like this. All right, I have the plant here. I'm just gonna put out this thing, and what I'm gonna do first of all is just delete these strokes right here. We just don't need them at all. And now I'm just gonna go in with a grab tool and start off by deforming the whole thing. So when it starts coming up, I want the whole thing to be kind of like nudged in one way. So as soon as it comes up right here. Wait, we have a double keyframe. Just gonna make sure I delete that. So it's coming up, and just right before it reaches the top, I just wanted to get back in its original position. So we just have like a little bit of a secondary animation right here, just a reaction to the plants growing. Oh, all right, we have like quite a huge jump right here, so that's what I have to fix right now. So, but in general, I just want to have at least some additional animation that's going on right here. And from this point of view, I can see a little bit better what I'm actually doing. I'm just gonna fill in these in between frames right here. Yeah, and just have it like this. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, so it's just a little bit, just wiggling just a bit when it comes up. And I think that's gonna help just a bit to make it a little bit more interesting from the animation point. And yeah, I think that's working. All right, so no question this far. All right, so I'm just gonna go on, draw in some additional detail, or maybe just I'm actually not quite sure what I could add right now to finish the thing up. I think the problem right now is also that I don't know how exactly these platforms of these things are gonna look like in the end. But I think with this transition right here, I think we're at a good point. I think it's gonna work, especially with the text. Just gonna take a look how it works out in the end. So actually, what's gonna happen after that is that we're gonna go up through the sky. So there is gonna be like a wipe transition actually. So maybe I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we're gonna jump into the animation of him like watering the plants. I think that would be nice. So, but what's gonna happen right here? It says it's gonna be like it's kind of a wipe transition, like I already said. It's gonna be just. I'm just gonna save. Sorry. Just gonna save it as version 4. Nice. So. I think it's gonna be quite simple. I'm just gonna show you like the main concept. So it's kind of like I'm gonna put something up here, like just right out of the view when you're focusing on this, and then right before the and then right at the point where I want to transition to the next scene, I'm just gonna put it down. Just like this, and it's gonna wipe through here. I think I just selected it the wrong way. But I think I'm just gonna put it up here, and then I'm just gonna go in, pull it down. I think it's gonna be something like a cloud. And then if you're gonna play that back, it's just gonna wipe like this and reveal a new scene. So at this point, we're going to change to another scene, and it's gonna look just... I think I can just pull in, for example, the glass house right here at this point. So right here maybe... that's not working. Let's see if I can just show you what I mean if I'm just gonna draw something else. So I think it's gonna be like this. He's talking about the plant and how it is the last one, and to finish his collection, and then he's gonna jump to the point where it is high above on an island, and he can't reach it at the moment, so he has to build like a machine. And I'm just gonna draw like a rough representation of how this is going to work out. So I'm gonna have an island just like this, and I'm just gonna paint it like roughly. It's gonna be just like this. It's just another floating island that's gonna be there. I'm just gonna make it green. It's not really green in the final thing, but it's gonna be prettier than that, I promise. At least a bit. But like you can see, I could now just go in and say that I want the island just to start right at the point where this transition is happening. So if you stay right in front of it, it's gonna be like this. Just gonna show you. So it's going up and then swiping down and revealing the other element. That's kind of the point of the whole thing, and that's how we are going to transition. But it's gonna be moving a little bit more, so it's kind of like this is gonna be a cloud that's going down, and then we'll reveal the other island and there are gonna be clouds around us as well, so it will be more three-dimensional. So it's actually kind of like moving up. Yeah. So maybe it's not coming down, but the viewer is actually moving up. So it's gonna stand still, and the viewer is actually gonna move up and see the island right now, right there. So maybe that's how I'm gonna do that transition. Yeah, I'm just gonna delete that for the moment, because that's not what I'm gonna do today. How long are we in right now? I'm just gonna check on the clock right here. So we're about in for 47 minutes. 47 minutes. All right. Then we're just gonna do like the little animation at the beginning, and that will be it for today, I guess. So. And I'm just gonna have this element right here, so it's the floor. I'm just gonna say that this is coming in as well, because I don't want it to just be there the whole time. So just like this, and have it to 0 right here. All right. Add keyframes, and this has to start a little bit earlier so you don't see through the whole thing. Alright, now that this is done, we're gonna focus on the beginning. And I think the beginning is gonna be a loop of some sort. So first, starting with character animation, I'm just gonna go in, say again, I want to grab the group, and just rotate. Rotation should be on. And I moved that accidentally. So, very interesting what's happening right here. I might have just... Alright, I didn't move the keyframes when I edited the whole thing. I actually moved the whole layer. So I have to remove that again. So they're here at the beginning, and at the end they should now... Yeah, so it's functioning again. Alright. So I'm gonna do a loop of around, I think, 4 seconds. So 4 seconds loop. Let's go in, put on, turn on outer keyframes, go to George, the rig, and just say that we want keyframes down on everything. So how would he do that? He's just gonna move his hand just a bit, so like maybe every 14 or let's say 12 seconds, at just half a second, he's gonna move his hand just like this. So just like this. And I just noticed that all keyframes have to be stepped. So I want this jumpy movement again, because that's how we are animating, or we don't want like the normal keyframes interpolation for the scene. So I'm gonna do that. And I think we're just adding some additional poses. So right here, add another like 1 second and 12. Just gonna have it like this. Again, and I think that's it. So, oh, it's way too fast, but that's alright. It's actually a good thing. So I'm just gonna spread it out at around should be around a second now between every key. So just like this. And now we're just gonna add in some in-betweens, like just say always oh, maybe we should just... I think it would be, actually it would be better to just, this time don't do poses, because it's not, like, I don't think it's gonna be hard to find in-between steps, but we're just gonna try to animating like this. So, just by hand. I don't know if this is like the perfect way to water a flower like that. I would say like no. The thing is, I'm not like a specialist when it comes to watering plants. My cactus just recently died, but I don't know if it was due to Lack or overflow of water. So maybe I'm not, like you can see, I'm not really the best person to say how to water plant. But I like his technique going up like this. I think it looks kind of funny. He's just gonna move it back one by one. Yeah, so we actually like to just give a brief overview. We just finished like you could say like 1/3 of the whole movie, of the whole short film with animation. So it's about 4 minutes long, and I think it's around 1/30 we got, so it's not like a whole third, but close enough. And the most difficult scenes are done. So it's at least when it comes to animation, I guess. Like for example, the scene with the rocket crashing. That was what I would say was the most challenging one. But yeah, it worked out so far, and that's great. I'm just gonna go in and copy the whole thing. Copy selected keyframes to clipboard. So maybe I can just paste it right here, and it's kind of working. Let's see. But however, like the most difficult scenes are done. And now we have George gardening or watering his plants. I mean, it's not like these are like, these scenes are like super easy to do. I actually think that small movements are way harder to do than fast movement. I would consider myself way more comfortable doing these fast moving things. Maybe at the one hand because you can get away with a little bit of like if you're not like totally precise, I think you could get away with it more easily. But at the same time, I'm just gonna call it like I have more reference when it comes to that. So with it's easier to look up and search for reference of like more extreme stuff. But focusing on, for example, how I would garden that or water a plant, that's another thing. I mean, it's holding it not like in the best possible position, but I want it to be a little bit more up so that we can actually see some of the water. You could also could put it just down there, but I think it's nicer if he does it on top like this. And that's where we're gonna animate the water now. And I think I'm just gonna go in and just search for the point where it's actually looping, because I think I can just delete these keyframes, because it is looping right here at this point, and I think I don't need these keyframes if I'm just gonna repeat them over and over again. I can just go in and put him, or turn this thing. There it is. So I have in a separate folder, but I can also create a sequence. A sequence works quite similar to a folder, but has some additional features. Can just put him inside here, and now have this the sequence. And let's see. Just gonna eyeball where I would start the whole thing. I think right here would be a good place. And I think I could just go in and say this sequence is going to loop. So yeah, that's what's happening right here. So it's just looping, and I don't have to do anything else. And that's gonna be like super helpful, especially when it comes to the animation of the water, because I don't want to do that the whole time. So I'm just gonna add a new layer and just put in some keyframes right here, and it's they're way too much. So I have to be clear where I want to loop the whole thing. I think it's going to be here. And maybe one more step right here. It's too much. Okay. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. So I'm just gonna delete every frame I just created that isn't necessary. Like this. Gonna save. And now we're gonna add some water. And that's the next thing that's gonna happen right now. Just creating some water droplets. I think that would be a nice watercolor right here. I have animation turned on, that's great. I'm just gonna go in here, maybe a little bit closer. And just gonna... Oh, that's gonna be challenging, but that's alright. Oh. I thought of it, I thought it would be more simple, I guess. But it's just gonna pure down there. So just having some of the basic water coming out like this is gonna be like helpful, I guess. So I'm just gonna jump in and just do a couple of these strokes just coming down. Just like this. But now you can also go in and play a little bit with that. So maybe have a water droplet going there, just going on a leaf, jumping from there. Yeah, just play a little bit more with the overall feeling of the animation. Just having it a little bit more bouncy water right here, especially when it comes to the end. And maybe have one that's jumping off or bouncing off like multiple strokes. Yeah, just like this. And I'm just gonna take a look where it needs a little bit more, and maybe just add some of the starting water falling right here, so it doesn't have to fall all the way down. So it's kind of showing right here, and then we're just gonna add some splashes right here. So it's I'm trying to hit where they actually land. So, oh, so I'm actually way I'm actually waiting for some of the things to land so I can animate them now. But yeah, so we have him watering the plant. Just thinking how I'm gonna tweak some of that. But in general, I like the way it moves. I think you get the point we want to show, want to tell. Just gonna go to none. So yeah, if you watch it from there, I think it's totally alright. The whole thing, I think it looks interesting enough. Maybe at another point I would go in and do it with a little bit more detail. So just going in a little bit more frame by frame. But I think for this stage, that's already alright. We got a little bit of a jump right here, and I want to see what's causing that. Don't know exactly why there would be such a huge jump in the animation. Just gonna check where this is happening. So we have it right here. This is the animation I just built. And at this point, at this point we're just gonna loop it, like I said. So just like this, or I don't need that actually to do it right here because we're gonna loop it up here anyway. So the whole sequence will be looped. And let's see how that looks if it just continues. Just like this, so he's gardening his plants. We're gonna see that from up here first. So that is just working on that. And then we're gonna jump in a little bit more. And then kind of like that he's still there. Maybe that's what's going to happen actually. So maybe we just go in and fade out this whole group, but just after everything else disappeared. So just like this maybe. So it has a little bit more weight to it. He's caring for his plants, and we're gonna hear about that. And then it's gonna fade. He's gonna fade away. And the plants as well. That's going a little bit too fast for my taste. So maybe just like this. Yeah, I think that's alright. It's a little bit more of an abstract animation we're going for right here. I like the way it looks, especially from a point of view like this. I think it's nice, and up here as well. So if you just look down on him, just there watering the plants. Maybe this is the point where we'll have some camera movement. Like you could call that camera movement, because here we can get away with it. Like I think in one of the earlier streams I already discussed the topic a little bit about motion sickness or virtual reality sickness, and that it is mainly caused, or it's said to be mainly caused by the peripheral vision, and that's something we don't really have here, movement in the peripheral vision. We don't really have that because we have just black around us, and that's why we could get away with zooming in on the plant. And I think we're gonna do that. just like this. Nice. All right. Yeah. I think that's gonna work, especially when with the voice of the narrator. It's gonna be good. All right. Yeah. I think that's it for this scene. And I think that's it for kind of for today's stream. What we're gonna do in Quill. I just saved the whole thing, and like you can see right here, this is the like I showed you in the beginning. This is the environment that Niels did. It changed a little bit, but for I mean in this scene you don't really see it that much, so that's why just at the back door. That's why I deleted some of the stuff around here. And I'm gonna delete a little bit more as well, because like you can see right here, draw calls are like super high right now at 120. That's way too much, so I'll have to delete some stuff, but that's alright. That's totally possible. But yeah, it's gonna be filled later on by Niels. Like, these plans are all just here as like a guidance for me. And so the scene is going to look, I think, a little bit nicer in the end. But yeah, we got the animation done on George. And I'm just gonna delete. When it comes to George, I'm just gonna delete like this blue thing up here, because it's just for me, for guidance. But yeah, that's let's just have like one last look at it, what we created today, and just gonna talk about it. So we're gonna start up here. It's gonna be about him watering the plants. Then we're gonna jump into a position like this, maybe just looking through some of the grass. It's gonna fade away. We're gonna center this one thing. We're gonna see around us the plant is growing up, is growing right there, and then we'll have a transition. And I guess, like you can see, I would add some dirt splashes, and there isn't dirt yet, but that's just because like this thing is just a placeholder. Like it's gonna be a lot more interesting to look at than just this block. We don't know if it's gonna be out of wood or metal, or wood mix, or maybe stone. We don't know yet. That's the thing that Niels is gonna do. But then I will just go in, replace it, and that will look nice in the end. Because it's all in groups, that is possible. And yeah, I'm just gonna jump out of Quill real quick, and I'll see you in just a minute. See you. And I'm back again out of VR. Putting down the headset is always a bit faster than putting it on. But yeah, so I kind of achieved what I wanted to do today, or I just finished it. I like I said, I just wanted to have like a 1 hour stream today, because there's still a little bit missing for me to fully animate it. Niels is working on that tomorrow, and as soon as that is ready, I can just move on and do a little bit more of the details. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing the finished result. Like I said, like this one scene is already kind of finished. I mean, the thing we have to be like honest about for us as well is just that we kind of have to finish stuff now. So I think in every scene there are some things that would be nice to have. It would be nicer to have a little bit more of a reaction of George at the one or the other point. It would be nice to have maybe some additional animation, or maybe to have a little bit more tweaked environment, or maybe to add a little bit more of shadow painted in. But that's just something that we can't do in the limited time frame we have, and that is on the one hand it's kind of sad, but on the other you don't get lost into details like you usually do when you're just doing a project without a deadline. You're gonna spend so much time just with things that aren't like totally relevant to telling the story. And I think we're doing like our best to, in that time, incorporate everything that's pushing the story forward and telling the story, but we try to just keep it around that. So it's as happy as I would be to add more detail or do more refined animations, the limited time frame just pushes us to like finish stuff. And that is something you just have to realize and to accept that it is like that. And maybe in the next project we'll just have a little bit more time to like refine everything, like that we're happy with it like nearly 100%. But at this point we just have to make some compromises in order to have everything ready at the right time. Like I said, because we don't have really, our project is set to be 3 months long. So in 3 months we have time, and then we have to have everything ready. But that includes for us a written documentation about the whole process and a video documentation where we talk about the whole process of creating and the pros and cons of VR and stuff like that. And that's, we can't talk about that, about the whole process, if we didn't finish the project first. So we actually have 1 month less, it's 2 months to create the whole VR short, and that's why maybe some things aren't as refined as we would usually want to have it. But that's just something you have to be like, you have to just accept and then try to do your best to make it as good as possible. And I think we're doing that right now. And we're moving on slow but steady. And some things take a little bit longer than expected, but others work a little bit better than expected. For example, like the rocket animation, that was something I was like scared about to do, but it worked out quite well. Yeah, so overall quite happy with the process. Like I said, can't wait to show you the finished result. If you have a headset, of course it will be the best experience, but I think we're gonna create a 2D version as well. But of course that's not the real experience. I mean, it has a VR experience in the name, and that's the whole point, that it is VR. But yeah, maybe you can find someone that owns a VR headset and watch it there, and yeah, that would be great, of course. But if you want to get into VR, I can just totally recommend it for working, for creative stuff, and playing games as well. I think VR is great. It's here to stay. And yeah, you can just join. We're just right at the beginning. It's starting, and I'm gonna cover some other topics as well on this YouTube channel, just in general about virtual reality. And if you want to stay updated on that, consider subscribing. And of course, if you like this live stream, a thumbs up would be great. But yeah, I'm just happy to have you here. To everyone, thank you to everyone who joined in live. It's great having you here, watching this whole live stream. And thank you, just thank you. And that's it for today. I think next week there won't be a live stream because I'm not in town. But I think in 2 weeks there's gonna be the next live stream. Maybe I'm gonna do some one in between, maybe. But that's something you can see on YouTube. I usually plan it 24 hours ago. Today I was a little bit late, and I'm gonna announce it on Instagram, and there you can see it as well. Yeah, but that's it for today. Thanks again for tuning in. It's great having you here, and have a great evening, have a great night. Yeah, that's it. I'm Nino. Thank you very much. Bye.